Sean Dyche has had an interesting time since taking over in Everton at the end of January. 2 wins and a loss. Let's see how his tactics line up with 3 other teams, though, in the Premier League. Getting straight into the tactic, this is a 4-4-2 balanced mentality. It is a custom style. You can see you start with a goalkeeper in defend, 2 fullbacks on support on the sides, 2 ball-playing defenders in the center, 2 wide midfielders in attack on the sides, a DM on the right in support, a segundo volante in attack on the left, a pressing forward in attack on the left, and a target forward in attack on the right. In possession, you have standard attacking with play into space, approach play, overlap on the left and right, focus play down the left and the right. Passing directness is standard, tempo is higher, floated crosses in the final third, play for set pieces and be more disciplined. Whew. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and then out of possession, high press line of engagement, lower defensive line, so it's a big midfield right there. Trigger press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and drop off more. Opposition instructions are not there. However, I do believe set pieces are. So he has created some set pieces here. Actually, I should say he has not, but he grabbed it from somewhere else. I know in the description itself, there's a little bit of information saying all players are instructed to tackle harder, turn it off if they get a yellow. Set piece tactics are not mine. So he's got some set pieces in there. But overall, that's the tactic. How did it work? As you can see in the table, it actually worked not too bad. Tottenham sit in 4th in Champions League spots, 23, 3, and 12 with 72 points. Definitely down from Man City, Liverpool, and Manchester United. And then Newcastle and Wolves, 7th and 8th. Newcastle getting Conference League with 14, 11, and 13 with 53 points. Wolves on the same amount of points, but 15, 8, and 15. And sadly just miss out on Europe completely. Tottenham's schedule, you can see a very good start to the run. The only loss, a Manchester United 0-1 loss away from home at Old Trafford. But then you get all the way down to PSG in the Champions League Group D. And you got a couple of not so great results right there before another win, another couple losses, another win, a loss, blah, blah, blah. So it's back and forth. You do finish out the Champions League Group D nicely. But then wins against Crystal Palace, Grimsby Town in the EFL Cup 3rd round. Only 1 friendly this time around. A thrashing by Everton 0-4, which is funny enough to see with this tactic. But then Bournemouth 3-1, Nottingham Forest at the start 2-1. Overall, I mean, look at this. Fantastic January, making it through every single other cup you got. And then, unfortunately, EFL Cup semi-final 2nd leg, getting crushed by Liverpool 0-3. Sees them drop out in the EFL Cup. Champions League 3-all against Ajax, 4-1 win against Ajax, so they move on. FA quarters, a thrashing of Brentford. Moving on to the Champions League, 2-1 win at home against Bayern, and then a draw, 2-all against Bayern, so they continue there. Manchester United, unfortunately, dropping out in the semifinals in extra time, 3-4. Real Madrid, 1-0 loss away from home, 2-0 at home. And then the Champions League final, dropping it all in penalties against Liverpool. They made it really far in several different competitions, so not too bad at all. Newcastle started out definitely not so great. 3 unbeaten right there in a row, but then 3 losses. Picking it up in September with some nice results. October, not so much. 4 losses in a row. 6-0 to Tottenham. That one hurts. But fun enough, with the same tactics. So then November was fantastic, but they didn't pick up their next win until mid-January. But I mean, overall, it is very spotty. April's not too bad with 3 draws, 2 wins, and a loss. A single loss to Wolves with the same tactic as well. And then May, not too bad until the final result of the season with Liverpool. But FA Cup 3rd round is where they got kicked the crap out of by Tottenham, kicked to the curb. And then the EFL Cup, losing out to Wolves 2-3 in the 2nd round. So immediately you've lost out. And then Wolves, not so much better. You've got 2 wins in August and then 4 in October, which is nice, but sandwiched between 2 losses. And then nothing in November, losing out in the EFL Cup 3rd round 0-4. FA Cup, you move on, you continue to move on, doing much better second half of the season up until March. FA Cup, you still move on against Reading 4-1, but then losing out in the quarterfinals against, again, Everton as the funny result. 1-6 Tottenham loss in the Premier League. But once the cups were finished, 3 awful results in April: Southampton, Manchester United, Liverpool, tough teams, I will say, and then cruising for the most part until the end of the season. Nottingham Forest 0-2. That could have helped. But 2 draws in there didn't help either. Overall, just a very spotty season. Transfers for Wolves, you can see Ruben Neves yet again leaving from Real Madrid, 51 million this time. Thiago Santos for 1.6, and then Andre Amaro from Victoria de Guimarães, 14.5. So a couple of different ones there. Zaidu Sanusi from Porto, 2.1. And then Newcastle's ins, you've got Garan Kuol again, Kavarn Williams from Nice, 39,000, and then Ronnie Edwards from Peterborough, 2.6. Lloris Karius is out. Matt Ritchie out for 1.2 million to DC United, and that's it for them. And we see that Tottenham are busy this time around. Marco Asensio from Real Madrid, 17.75. Borja Iglesias from Real Betis, 7.25. And then Irving Lozano from Napoli, 16.25. Not spending a whole lot in those transfer windows. However, 183 overall is pretty big number for them. And then a couple of outs. You got Tangwanga, you got Fagan Walcott again, and then Niall John yet again. So, in terms of Premier League stats, most goals, you can see Tottenham at 92, second in the league. So, fantastic result for them. Wolves in 5th, Newcastle in 6th with 69 and 62 apiece. This tactic has definitely seen its attacking form rise compared to a lot of other tactics we've seen. Just all 3 of them in the top 6, which is great to see. Fewest shots again, only Tottenham there. Possession, nobody. Dribbles made, nobody. Fewest conceded, nobody. So defensively, I don't know. Shutouts, nobody. Most tackles won. There you go. Newcastle with 861. So there is some defensive effort in. Unfortunately, a lot of it is just, a lot of these balls are getting into the back of the net. Wolves in 5th with 831 and Tottenham with 814. Most shots for Tottenham with 620, Newcastle 580, and Wolves at 519. And then most points per game, as you would expect. Tottenham in 4th, Newcastle in 7th, and as well as Wolves, 1.39. Overall, Harry Kane getting number 2 on the list with 32 goals. Patrick Bamford in 3rd. Wow. I wonder what happened to Salah. Something must have happened. But most assists, Marco Asensio for Tottenham, 14. A fantastic pickup for them. Son with 13. And then Kulusevski for Tottenham at 11. Most player of the match awards, Harry Kane with 11 and Alexander Isak with 8. Most tackles won, Miguel Almiron for 108. Key passes is Trippier and Asensio, 100 and 120 apiece. And most shots, Alexander Isak with 128, Borja Iglesias with 105, and Harry Kane 104. So you can see these new boys for Tottenham have really done very well. So if you're doing a Tottenham save, maybe pick them up and take a look at them at least. And see what they can do for you, because just simmed, they're doing fantastically. Finishing out on stats, Raul Jimenez, 27 goals in all competitions. That is a fantastic number from what I've seen before. Highest average rating was 736. This is a dude you should look at as well. Most assists, Pedro Neto with 15, and then most player of the match awards, Kalajic and Raul Jimenez, 5 apiece. I do not know how to pronounce that dude's name, but Raul Jimenez looks like he is just lights out for this team. And as we move to Newcastle, Alexander Isak with 20, you'd expect that. Isak with 724, highest average rating, again expected. Callum Wilson with 10 assists, and most player in the match awards, Alexander Isak with 8. And then finishing out with Tottenham, Harry Kane with 52 whopping goals. I don't think I've ever seen a number that high for a player like Harry Kane. Haaland, sure. Mbappe, sure. Salah, maybe. In Nunez, but Harry Kane, 52 goals is an amazing result. 755 highest average rating. Most assists, Asensio with 21. And he came in second half of the season, didn't he? And most player in the match awards, Harry Kane with 13. If you're Tottenham, maybe look at this. I'm sure there are a couple of results that would give you at least to 3rd, if not 2nd. If you pick up these players, if you picked up Asensio at the start of the season, I can only imagine in Tottenham sitting in 3rd, if not higher. Liverpool and Man City at 90 and 91 apiece. You're going to be hard-pressed to break those. But if you can nip at one of them, nip at their heels, I think you could do very well with this tactic. So far, Newcastle and Wolves probably are going to be up there anyway. I would expect, especially if they start picking up good players and all that with the money they have, or at least Newcastle. But for Tottenham, I think you could do very well with this tactic. So anyway, so far I would say this is a winner. But that is it for me, Seffian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.